know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it turnpike miles. Yeah, it's Buku signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal, yeah, I battle through these.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy Gianlutis, and with the message that we have in store for you guys in a few moments, I can honestly say that it is going to change the way that you look at things in your life, in the past experiences you've had, and the current situations you find yourselves in, and honestly, how you interpret events that come your way after this moment. This is a powerful message, and when I first heard it, it was crazy, the aha moment that I had. That aha moment that people talk about, when things finally click together and you receive so much clarity. It's helped me incredibly, and I want to do the same for you. But before we dive into that, please hit that subscribe button below. Once a Week is putting new messages and interviews out every single Sunday, and you don't want to miss any of them. So please do that now. And now that you've done that, let's dive into it. So today's message is attachment, detachment, and non-attachment. And they're basically how we choose to live our lives and see the outlook for what we want out of this life. And depending on which one of these categories you fall under, you could possibly be limiting yourself to only a few incredible possibilities for your life, only allowing a few incredible blessings into your life, or you could be in an area where you are unlimited to what good can come into your life, and you're open to so much good that is all around you. One more. Or you could be cutting yourself off to everything in general. And the second I learned these, I instantly could see moments in life where I wish I had this information. Like I said, so much clarity came from this, and since adapting to this, oh my goodness, life has moved in such a great way. And I want the same for you. So I'm going to go down the line. But first, I need you to understand something. We live in a world of absolute abundance. Absolute abundance. Think about that for a second. Abundance all around you. Infinite possibilities and infinite resources. You take a look outside and you see the grass, you see the leaves, or if you're at the beach, you look at the water or the sand. It's abundant. You can't put a number on how much of one thing there is. How many grains of sand are at the beach? It's abundant. What about the air that we breathe? How much air is there? It's abundant. We're told at a young age that we can do anything, we can be anything, and we can have anything in this life. And as we grow older, some of us continue to believe that, but many of us, I feel, forget about that truth. And it is a truth. Because with that abundance that this world is made up of, it opens the door for abundant possibilities in our own lives. And that is where the first one mentioned before comes into play. Attachment. Attachment is when we can become attached to a certain expectation or a certain outcome. We all have done this, or we still do this. How many of us set goals for ourselves? We define exactly how we want things to be, how we want our life to be, how we want our job to be, how we want our relationship to be, how we want our spouse to be, how much income we want to make. The list of examples can go on and on for what works for you specifically. It's good to have goals, it really is. But when we become attached to how we feel those are meant to be, or how they're meant to come about, what do? We narrow our perception. All the infinite possibilities that are all around us, we narrow that only to a select few, limiting the blessings, limiting the joy that can come into our lives because we feel things need to happen a certain way. We create our own resistance because we become attached to what we think things should look like, how it should come about, how it should happen. And what happens if it doesn't? if it doesn't happen the way we feel it should, to the way that we are attached to. We get hurt. We feel pain. The example that stuck out the most to me when I learned this was heartbreak. We don't break a heart. No. We had an expectation of what we felt love should be and how it should look. We attach to a certain outcome. We attach to it. In it going differently, we get pain. All the while, who's not to say it needed to end so something greater can come into your life? For this message to connect with you right now. But that leads me to my next point. Detachment. Detachment, when we give up on the entire game. We didn't get what we wanted. We got pain. I don't want to play anymore. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. How many of us have done that? I know I have. Looking back, I wish I understood these concepts, but I do now. But people become detached when they suffer a loss or a disappointment, or they constantly experience things not going their way. So when you take your ball and you go home, you detach yourself from situations, yes, but you also detach yourself from the good that can happen in your life. You cut yourself off from life, from the blessings that try to come in. You cut yourself off from the abundance and the infinite possibilities that try to come into your life. Remember this, all things work together for your good in life. Keep that in mind. But if we detach from life, we block that good from coming in. In the past, I detached myself a lot. And now, I am so happy that I had that aha moment. Because this last point is where it's at. Non-attachment. Non-attachment, as the name states, is when you are non-attached to an outcome. You are fully in the game of life, but not attached to how things can come in and how things may go. When we step into this way of living, we are expanding our awareness, believing that good wants to come into our lives. Which, if you've ever picked up a spiritual book or the Bible even, is what is trying to happen constantly in every single moment. Good wants to come in. When we become aware of that, the door opens. We don't need to worry about how it comes about. We just know that it is. We take those goals that we mentioned under attachment, we have them, but we aren't focused and honing in on how they're going to come about. We are non-attached, freely enjoying this life, letting things come as they will. If something leaves, we let it go. We let this life happen for us. And the good that comes from that, you feel it. The weight that gets lifted off your shoulders when you step into this area of just non-attachment is absolutely incredible. You open up to the abundance that we mentioned before, to the infinite possibilities that we mentioned before, to the good that we continue to mention. And that is a feeling. But take these points in, because there's power behind them. Take those goals that you have, set your intention to achieve them, set your intention to what you want to come into your life, and then, best part, let it. Just let it. Don't narrow by how it will come about. Don't detach yourself. Just let it happen. Live in that. That's when we are happy, enjoying life. We aren't worried. We are here now. How great will it feel for your mind to be out of the stress of yesterday or out of the stress of tomorrow? It's life-changing. I love it. But I thank you guys for tuning into this week's message. I want you to watch it back a few times and see truthfully how it connects to you specifically. Let your mind run with it. But guys, like this message on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, share this message with someone who needs to hear this right now. That person that popped into your head during this video, that's the person that needs it now. Share it to them. And please subscribe to Once a Week if you haven't already. And lastly, guys, if you or someone you know is in need of a life coach, someone to help you reach a level of just non-attachment in your life, go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com and set up a free call with me. And I'll be right there for you. Attachment, detachment, non-attachment. Which one do you find yourself in? What situations in the past connected to you when we went over each point? Write those down and then try to achieve that non-attachment. It's a few steps away from where you are now. In fact, it's just letting go from where you are now. Let that sink in. I'll see you guys next week.
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving